Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With your permission, I'd like to make a brief statement about the G20 summit in Indonesia. But first, I'd like to address Russia's missile attacks on Ukraine this week. On the very day that I and others confronted the Russian foreign minister across the G20 summit table with the brutality of his country's actions. On the very day that President Zelensky addressed the G20 with a plan to stop the war, Russia launched over 80 separate missile strikes on Ukraine. The targets were innocent people and civilian infrastructure. The aim, to cast the population into darkness and cold. Once again, Russia has shown its barbarity and given the lie to any claim that they are interested in peace. During the bombardment of Ukraine on Tuesday, an explosion took place in eastern Poland. The investigation into this incident is ongoing, and it has our full support. As we have heard the Polish and American presidents say, it is possible that the explosion was caused by Ukrainian munition, which was deployed in self-defense. And whether or not this proves to be the case, no blame can be placed on a country trying to defend itself against such a barrage. The blame belongs solely to Russia. We will help our Polish allies to conclude their investigation, and we will continue to stand with Ukraine in the face of Russia's criminal aggression. The G20 agreed to use all available tools to support the global economy and ensure financial stability. That means international financial institutions mobilizing more resources to support developing countries. It means continuing to call out those who exploit their lending power to create debt traps for emerging economies. And it means tackling the causes of rising inflation head-on, including by delivering fiscal sustainability. We pledged our support for the UN-brokered deal to keep grain shipments moving in the Black Sea. That deal, I'm pleased to say, has now been renewed. 2/3 of Ukraine's wheat goes to developing countries. With famine looming, it is desperately needed, and Russia must uphold its part of this deal.
What should have been a summit focused on global economic recovery and delivering clear commitments on climate change was sadly overshadowed by the unjustifiable actions of Russia and their illegal war in Ukraine. Civilian infrastructure targeted across Ukraine and a war of aggression rumbling on as world leaders tried to reach agreement. Whatever the outcome of the investigation into the missile incident in Poland, it is a stark reminder of the danger Russia's unjustifiable war has brought to the border of our NATO allies. We must remain vigilant and united in our opposition to this pointless and brutal conflict. And as I've said many times from this dispatch box, and to the Prime Minister personally, whatever other differences we may have across this House, and there are many, when it comes to the defence of Ukraine, we stand as one. And on behalf of members on this side of the House, well, across the House, I want to send condolences to those killed in Poland. It is crucial we work to find international unity to further isolate Putin. That will include working with China. We do not underestimate the challenges China poses to global security. And we must defend the human rights of the Uyghur and democracy in Hong Kong. But our approach must be measured, and it is in our interest to work with China on the climate crisis, trade, and most importantly, isolating Putin.